Before we begin, I have to tell you this. In this video I will use a test swatch, but the steps are exactly the same if you are making a neckband. Start by knitting several rows of ribbing, then continue with several rows of tubular knitting as shown in the chart. All steps are shown in the video except knitting the ribbing. Today I will show you how to make a cut and sew commercial neckband or a great looking edge to a garment. This is what the final result will look like. I will use my Fox test swatch which I made in that video. You can check it out by clicking on the info card in the upper right corner. To secure the end, I will make a straight seam close to the edge of the fabric. This seam won't be visible at the end, so don't worry about the thread color. It should look like this. Now make sure the racking handle is in its lowest position. Place the fabric piece on the front bed and use the orange ruler to raise enough needles on the back bed. Then raise the same number of needles on the front bed. The needles must be arranged according to the needle rule. You may arrange the needles in 2x1 division and knit several rows of rib if you are doing a commercial neckband. I will skip the ribbing for this tutorial, but the steps are the same. After making the rib, put all needles in working position and continue knitting from the tubular part. Now set both locks to N and the stitch size to 3. Insert the orange strippers and take the main color yarn. You have to take the same color yarn as the garment, but I will use a contrasting color for the demonstration. Now knit one row. Set both locks to CX and increase the stitch size to 4. Now knit 2 rows. Set both locks to N and increase the stitch size to 5. Now knit one row to finish the cast on. Clear the row counter and set both locks to CX. Remove the orange strippers and insert the black ones. Rotate the racking handle anti-clockwise to its highest position and knit 10 to 20 rows. Drop the front bed from time to time to check if the pocket has become the desired depth. If it's not the right size, you can continue knitting. Now let's check again. I knitted a total of 16 rows and the pocket is the right size for my project. When you are satisfied with the pocket size, increase the stitch size by 1 number on both locks. Now knit 2 rows. Clear the row counter and set the front lock to GX. Drop the front bed and move the edge springs on the back bed to the sides. Take 2 7-shaped weight hangers and insert them at each side of the knitting. Now attach a small weight to each one of the hangers. Take the garment and place it on the back bed with the right side facing up. This way the cast-off will be hidden on the wrong side of the fabric. Use the double prong tool and put the end stitches into the hooks of the end needles. To hide the seam that we made on the sewing machine, we have to take stitches that are above it. First, you have to put the end stitches of the piece on the end needles. Then put the center stitches of the fabric piece in the hooks of the needles and continue until you put all the stitches in the hooks. At this point, all the stitches are in the hooks of the needles on the back bed. Now rotate the racking handle clockwise to its lowest position. Move the edge springs on the front bed to the sides. Take the double-eye bodkin tool and transfer all stitches from the front bed to the opposite needles on the back bed. It would be hard to transfer the stitches if the racking handle is in its highest position because the double-eye bodkin tool will rub against the opposite needles. Do you have a favorite technique for finishing the edges of a garment or making the neckband? Share your secrets with me in the comments below. When you transfer all stitches, put all needles on the front bed out of working position. Push the knitting towards the back bed and carefully raise the needles all the way up. I will fold the fabric piece so you can see clearly what I am doing. Push the needles backward until the hooks are about to close. Now take the spacer and put it on the back bed. The spacer will help you to tension the stitches correctly when knitting them off. It is just a piece of cardboard that is 29 mm wide. Make sure all the latches are open. Now take the yarn from the lock and manually knit off the stitches. You can see up close. Notice how I am moving the spacer with my left hand as I am knitting off the stitches. This technique may require a bit of practice, so make sure to try it on a test piece first. Remove the spacer when you knit off all stitches. Take the yarn from the lock and put it over the fabric piece. Then put the fabric piece between the beds as shown in the video. Take 2 claw weights and attach them to the fabric piece. On the back bed, place the edge springs on the last working needles. Now carefully slide the lock to the left. It won't knit because it is set to CX. Raise the front bed and knit 1 row. Now drop the front bed, move the edge springs and cast off all stitches. Transfer the rightmost stitch 1 needle to the left, pull the needle all the way, then wrap the yarn from the lock behind the latch into the hook and pull the needle back to knit off the stitches. Then continue casting off the stitches the same way. This will be a simple edge finish, but if you knit 20 rows of rib in the beginning, you can then knit the circular pocket and make a professional looking neckband. When making the cast off, don't forget to remove the weights one by one as you go. Don't forget to support me by liking the video and leaving me a comment below. I will appreciate every comment I receive. When you're done with the cast off, cut the yarn from the lock and pull it through the last loop. This is the final result. As you can see, the front part looks seamless. You can only see the cast off on the back side of the piece. This is what it would look like if you use the same color yarn. From now on, this is my favorite technique to use. Soon I will try to use it on a real garment. That's all for today. Thank you for watching, have a nice day and see you in my next video.